Hi, this is Phoenix Black, and this is my first official, I guess, vlog. and for the past few years, it's been a long time really, I've struggled with my health, struggled with my weight. And one of the biggest, I guess, hurdles for me is the fact that I have Hashimoto, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or as some of you may know as hypothyroidism. Basically, Hashimoto's thyroiditis is when you have an autoimmune form of hypothyroidism. And it can go undiagnosed or undetected for a really long period of time, as it did for me. And a lot of times you'll have symptoms that, you'll see, it's like really random symptoms that happen with it, but it's like what's going on or something about something that just doesn't feel right, but you can't exactly put your finger on it. And in this video, basically what I want to do is just kind of go over some of those symptoms that you may have with it. I'm going to put a link because I'm actually going to kind of read off I'm going to read off some of the symptoms that are very much indicative of probably having a hypothyroidism disorder. And it's important to understand as well when you have a hypothyroid disorder or hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, which hopefully you never get to that point, but either or, it's important to understand that it's just not your thyroid alone, because your thyroid produces a hormone called thyroxine. It also, produces TSH, T3, T4, all those things. But it's really an endocrine system issue. It's a hormonal issue, and usually, if you have a problem with your thyroid, you're probably going to have problems with other areas as well. Usually, people that have thyroid issues also have adrenal issues, or you may have heard of adrenal fatigue, those type of things. Or they may have, like for women, you may have reproductive issues, problem with your ovaries. Like for myself, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism in 2005, or 2004. It might have been 2004. And then progressively in 2007, I had to have an ovary removed. And, little did I just learn, like, pretty much here recently, that all that stuff is interconnected. So if you have problem with one thing, you're eventually going to have problem with others. The main thing is just catching it and getting it treated before it can progress. Because, like in my case, I have an autoimmune disease, and when you have an autoimmune disease, you have to really watch it about how you eat, stress, and all that stuff. Because if you don't, one auto one autoimmune disease can progress into another autoimmune disease. Like, say, right now I have Hashimoto's. Well, if I'm not careful about how I eat and make sure I keep stress to a minimum, it could progress to me having Hashimoto's and lupus, or Hashimoto's and celiac disease. I mean, it can grow into other things that you just don't want. So I know for me personally, especially turning 38 this year, turning 38 this year, I really wanted to get my health under control. I've been really trying to do that for a long time. It's just that I didn't. There was a lot of information that I didn't have. Even though I was digging, and the thing is, when you don't have the resources or the information available to you, you will spend a lot of time spinning your wheels trying to figure out what's going on with your body. In my case, again, it was like a huge thing with my weight, where like, why am I not losing weight? I went through roughly, probably, how many years? Probably, see, I was diagnosed in 2004, but I did lose weight initially when I first was diagnosed and treated. But from 2010 up through till today, which is, might as well say 7 years, I would go through cycles of, exercising and calorie restriction, everything that I need to do that was right, or what I thought was right to lose weight. And the pounds just weren't coming off, or I'd only lose like maybe 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and then put it right back on. And yeah, so that's just something that it was hell. And I'm now that I have information and I've seen some changes, some significant change in my weight, I want to share that knowledge with you all and hope that it helps. I'm also making these videos because when you look on YouTube or social media or just in the internet period, you don't really see a black face on hypothyroidism, the one that's prominent, I would say. So I'm like, well, if I can be that voice for African American women that have hypothyroidism, I'm more than happy to be that voice and to help, spread awareness and just raise the level of consciousness as far as Black women with hypothyroidism. Okay, now looking at the symptoms here, and again, I'm going to post this link at the bottom of this so that you can go directly to the page, because this is from hypothyroidmom.com. It's a great resource about hypothyroidism in general. But I'm going to post the link in the description box so that you can go to it directly, because there's a lot of things here. And let me see. And she has one. This article is about, well, blog is about the top 16 symptoms of hypothyroidism. The first one is fatigue, increased sensitivity to cold, constipation, dry skin, unexplained weight gain. That's like the most annoying, most notorious known symptom of hypothyroidism. Puffy face, hoarseness, muscle weakness, elevated blood cholesterol level, muscle aches and pains, pain, stiffness, or swelling in your joints, heavier than normal or irregular menstrual periods, thinning hair, slower heart rate, depressed mood, and impaired memory. And let me see, there's some other ones here. Let's see, one symptom, it's just like a kind of a checklist of things that you can identify that, you may have hypothyroidism as well. I feel better if I'm able to take an afternoon nap every day. My hair is coarse and dry, breaking, brittle, falling out. My skin is coarse, dry, scaly, thin. My eyebrows are thinning, especially the outer 1/3, and that's a big symptom too. That's one where I can kind of tell if a woman's probably experiencing some thyroid issues. And let me put this out there: I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I am just someone that is also a hypothyroid, someone that's living with it. And, just spreading the knowledge, but I am not a medical professional. Yeah, but the eyebrow thing where because right now my eyebrows are drawn in. But my natural eyebrows they've gotten better because, like, again, with treatment, but my natural eyebrows are very sparse and thin. And that's like a huge, if you see a woman and she's kind of, she's heavy set, face kind of puffy, and she has really thin eyebrows, more than likely she has a thyroid problem. Just remember that. Or man, because men can get hypothyroidism too. So just keep that in mind. I frequently struggle with constipation or hard stools. Let's see here. Any others? I have trouble conceiving a baby. And that's another thing with hypothyroidism. When you have hypothyroidism, if it hasn't been treated and you're trying to conceive or have a baby, just, make sure that you get tested first to make sure that you do not have it. Because the thing is with hypothyroidism, if it's untreated, it increases your chances of having a miscarriage if you are trying to get pregnant. So keep that in mind as well. I have puffiness and swelling around my eyes and face. That's a big one for me. It's gotten a lot better, but I have difficulty concentrating or focusing. That's another one that I've had too. Basically, when you have hypothyroidism, mentally you're kind of going through or you may not everyone has the same symptoms, that you may be experiencing a brain fog, or other times you may have attention issues, like you have attention deficit disorder, things like that. So that's another one to be aware of. That can be easily treated or managed. I know one thing that I've done for that is take ginseng and ginkgo biloba, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's helped also. What else? I have more feelings of sadness. That's a big one. That can be a big one. And some of these symptoms too, at least for women, because I can testify to this myself, when you're on your menstrual cycle or you're getting close to your menstrual cycle, some of these symptoms are like intensified. So just be aware of that as well. Dry eyes. And there's other symptoms too, but again, I don't want to go, this is kind of an exhaustive list, but at least it gives you a really good idea of what you may experience if you have hypothyroidism. Most importantly, it's just important to get checked out. Probably in a future video, I will discuss as far as like the lab values and things you should be looking for, because different labs have different lab values when it comes to testing for hypothyroidism. So, and a lot of doctors are quick to say, oh, you're normal when you actually do have hypothyroidism. And even if your thyroid is off just a little bit, it's enough to create a lot of problems, and it can get progressively worse over time if it's not treated. So again, that's all that I really wanted to discuss in this video. I didn't want to make it too long. I just wanted to kind of touch upon it because it's something that I really, it's been on my heart to really talk about, and just, and like, again, increase awareness, especially for African American women, because I believe, if I recall correctly, I believe there's like 25 million people that go undiagnosed with hypothyroidism, because it's kind of like that. It's kind of like one of those, again, it's one of those conditions that, you know, you just get so many random symptoms and it's hard to put a finger on exactly what it is. So, but that's all I want to discuss in this video. I don't want to make it too long, but thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe. This is the first video, but there will be more to come. Thank you.